Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Surprise, everyone! Karimah, thank you so much for
You're
joining me
welcome.
on the channel. We absolutely love you over here at Erica Vane TV. We love what you guys have done. This finale,
Yeah.
y'all not right for that. I'm just gonna be real. Like,
Hey, I'm just the actor on this show. I didn't write it, you know. Look, I was shocked too when I read it. I was like, literally, my mouth was like open after I finished reading the script. I was like, no way. You know?
Yeah, there's so many cliffhangers, and I honestly was just like, we needed more Grace. Like, I needed Grace to come and break this fight up because all of y'all are wilding.
That's right.
What is happening? Y'all mamas raised y'all better than this. We have a running joke on the channel that like Grace is the only good parent in the all-American world, and that she needed to teach parents in classes and help everybody get it together because everyone else is all distracted by what they have going on. Can you tell me about what it's like for you to embody Grace, to bring Grace to the screen?
It's been a lot of fun. You know, I really like the writing a lot on the show, and yeah, so I love the storyline. So it's just been fun. You know, I think that I learned, I think very, very early on from season 1, I feel like I was learning a lot from this show myself. You know, I'm not a parent. Oh, look at the little puppy. So cute. You know, I'm not a parent myself, but it gives me, you know, little times to, of course, pretend, and it's been good. It's been great, you know. I feel like I love the character Grace a lot, you know.
And she's loved by all of us.
Oh, thank you.
How has the reception been for the last 3 years of you playing this character? Are you getting treated like Grace out and about? Like, what is it like for you?
It's so funny. I forget that people get so caught up into characters. I mean, I've had people come up to me and be like, literally this year, I had a woman come up to me at a game and was saying, "Wow, I wish I was a parent like you." And I was like, "Me too," you know, in my mind. But I was like, "Oh, thank you," you know. So people really get caught up into the characters, and it's been good for the last, you know, 3 years. It kind of went through different phases based off of my storyline. Of course, when, you know, I didn't know who Dillon's dad was, I was everything in the book, you know what I mean? I was a home wrecker, I was this, I was that. I was like, okay.
Right.
You know, we moved on with Corey. So it kind of, I've been different things, you know, throughout the year. And I think now it's a little more settled where it's like, oh, we like Grace, you know, she gives good advice. But I've definitely had my phases of being different things to people, you know.
Different people. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Did you
with the boys and the whole father not knowing who the dad is?
Yeah,
like that. So I really got a hard time from you know.
Even though that I felt like they seeded it, but it's like he knew what his father looked like. He left when he was 8. Like he knows that Billy ain't his dad. Come on now.
For the dramatics for the show.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Well, is he or isn't he?
Right. Did you expect for All American to get as big as it is? And I know it's like a weird question to ask, but I always want to ask a lot of you all who create this show, who embody these amazing, dynamic, nuanced characters. Like, did you see all of this? Because to me, I feel like it's blown up immensely in a very short amount of time.
I had no idea. I knew that when I read it, I really liked it, but I had no concept of like, you know, what would do good and but when I know that I really enjoyed it, I hope people liked it. So it's just been, again, I just take things like as it comes, and I'm very happy with how people receive the show. And, you know, it does a lot for different people for different reasons. And so I love that. I feel like it's a blessing to be a part of a project that does that, you know?
Yeah. What has been your favorite topic of discussion that a storyline has pulled at so far in the series? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, it's okay. One of my favorites was dealing with the absentee father and how it pretty much just, I have a cat, so
yes, pets.
I love the whole storyline of the absentee father because that's very real. And even myself, you know, not growing up with my dad and stuff like that. So it's very relatable. And I felt like a lot of people could relate to that.
Yeah.
And just Spencer not knowing how to deal with his emotions from that. And so I love that they explored that a lot of his emotional issues that he was having really kind of went back to all of this anger he had based off of his father and stuff like that. So I appreciated that storyline because it hit home for a lot of people. It also hit home for me in a lot of different ways. So I loved going on that journey. With the storyline, with that particular storyline. So I think that was one of my favorites that was really kind of felt close to home.
And I think it was really powerful in like by itself, but then also watching you helping this young Black man navigate, because I think coming from the hood, and when you hear about, you know, young Black men raised by, you know, strong Black women, it's like, oh, well, you might have made them soft or whatever, but you see that Grace is a very powerful, strong woman, but she's also able to do her best and pour a lot into Spencer that really instills in him to be able to be the best young man that he can be. And I think that your character is one of the few that we get to see like that. In the space that y'all are in, like on network television. So I think that is super powerful.
I love that too. You know, it's a real intimate look at that, especially, you know, raising two Black young men, and then just having that. I don't really know, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, so maybe there's other shows that kind of touched on it a bit, but I appreciated that this show explored the reality of that and how do you navigate that, you know, as a parent, you know, and especially if you lying about some, you know, you haven't exactly told the truth. I mean, even beyond that, it's like, you know, how do you navigate those emotions, and how does it affect the parent, you know, and child in the household, you know?
Speeding up into this season, you also help Spencer navigate emotions around love, as well as sacrifice and selflessness, and when it was going too far. Can you talk to me about what maybe you pulled from to deliver those performances, and how you felt about that particular storyline when we saw him trying to risk it all and for his love of Olivia and put himself out there? I thought that it was just so beautiful to have the conversation of like, you cannot always try to save somebody else. You got to save yourself first.
I understood it. So I feel that a lot of the things that they do right, it's not, I mean, they do right out in the show as far as storylines and the conversations that we have. I understand it completely, you know, so it's very easy to relate. It's very easy to convey in a lot of ways because I get it. I mean, I'm older. I've had, you know, many life experiences that kind of taught me very similar lessons. So I can speak from a place of truth in a lot of ways, of understanding what we're trying to convey, or what Grace is trying to convey to Spencer, you know, within those conversations. So I understood it. And, you know, I love the heart that they gave Spencer, you know what I mean? Because there's an innocence about it, you know. It's not that, it's not really coming from, I don't even feel like it's coming from a place of lack. It's just coming from a place of love, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think that these are important lessons to kind of reflect back to the audience, like food for thought, you know?
Yeah.
For us all to think about, you know? But I love that he has a big heart, you know?
Yes. And can you tell us, well, what you can, because I know you can't tell us much, but where could we possibly anticipate to see Grace going in the future? I know this season we finally get to see her settle down. I was rooting for Micah, but then listen.
I know.
What else can we look forward to from Grace? Because I definitely think we got a little bit of different things this season, and I loved it. I like to see her and Carter. She humanized. Oh my God, she humanized the mess out of Carter. Because I was not feeling dude from the rip.
I wasn't feeling dude. You know what I mean? So that was a big 180. I was like, oh, okay, I like him now. Like, what happened? Okay. I don't know what's gonna happen, with my character. I haven't gotten any. Usually, what happens in the beginning of the season, or at some point, before we start filming, they'll kind of tell you the journey that your character is going on, what's gonna happen, and I have no idea. I mean, how we left off, it feels like maybe something will happen with me and Carter, with me and D'Angelo. But who knows, I mean, Micah could show back up like Grace, That would be like some drama. But
that would be some drama. I'm just like, okay, Grace finna settle down. It's about to be D'Angelo and Grace making it happen. It's just gonna have to deal.
It feels like things gonna work out. I mean, the way that they ended it tonight, I have no idea.
Yeah. So let's talk about the finale.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? Well, I know it's like you're biased because you're there, but like I feel away. Like I feel like my soul is a little bit hurt about what's going on here. How do you feel?
Like I said, when I read the script, I was like, what? I literally think I was like, I think I made a loud noise after I read it, and I was like, no. And I called Kareem, the guy who plays Preach. I was like, yo, did you read the episode? Like, yeah. And we were like, oh my God. So I definitely had a strong reaction because I wasn't expecting it. I mean, even when I watched it tonight, it was like, to see the boys fighting, like my eyes, I teared up. It's so crazy how I can still watch the episode and get like emotional about it. So when Jordan like punched him, I was like, oh my God, like what's happening? It's weird because I know it's not real, but I'm so into the world of it. I got emotional. I'm like, why are they fighting? They're brothers,
They're undoing all the work that they done.
Oh my God. And like they unraveled that quick. So yeah, I definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens as well, because I don't know what's coming for season 4. So I'm in the same boat as you guys. So
I feel like they just unraveled the rope and there's all these loose threads. I already, in the way, the timing. So I am probably the least empathetic to Asher. Mm-hmm. When I tell you that I was about to cry with him getting that news, and then y'all, like, it followed up with like, oh, not only did this happen, but this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe this is the end. I can't believe we really have to wait until October.
Oh, the writers like to just beat y'all upside the head with cliffhangers. I mean, it's genius. I love how they bring you back for more. They want you wanting more. So that's the whole, idea of television in general. You guys got to come back every week to see what happens next. Most people want to say, oh, I want to know what happened, like right away. But then once you know, like, that's end of story, right? So television is serialized, and it's like you got to come back to get the next piece of the story. You got to get the next piece of the story. So I think they do a fantastic job of doing that. Although I know that the viewers hate it, but you guys come
stressed. I am stressed. Like, okay, October. Okay, yeah. All right.
That's gonna be here fast. I mean, look, we're already in July, right? I mean, I remember saying Happy New Year, and now here we are, July. So it's gonna come back fast. So, no worries, it'll be here fast.
I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna take your advice, even though I'm still very stressed. The writers this season, I don't know what Wheaties they were eating in the morning or what was actually going on before they sat down to write these scripts, but it was definitely a roller coaster season. It was a beautiful season, but it was a stressful roller coaster one because I am definitely really invested. So what advice would you give to other creatives, there's a ton of aspiring actors in my community, in my audience, who want to be able to do the work that you guys do or other work? Like, what advice would you give for someone that's out there chasing a big dream or big goal?
I I would definitely say, stick with it. I think that all things are possible. You got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, it's like, how do you expect someone else to believe in you? But I think right now, too, the landscape has completely opened up where people can actually create their own opportunities. So, you have a lot of web series. Like, I think of someone like Issa Rae for our younger generation. Like, I'm an old lady. It actually wasn't even that long ago, but Issa Rae's show, Insecure, was the misadventures of an awkward Black girl. That was like a web series that was like 3-minute episodes, and from that she was able to build up to where she's at now. So when you look at examples like that, I always like to say, if God did it through me, if God did it through Issa, if God did it through Tyler Perry, if God did it through whomever, I feel like it could happen for you as well. I think that everyone's path is different, but I do think that all things are possible. So I feel like I would like to say, educate yourself on the direction that you want to go in with the goals that you have. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, asking questions. But the biggest thing is to believe, and then set some goals around what it is that you're trying to do, and just go for it with all of your heart. And I believe that from my own personal experience, you start to attract, things will start connecting. Like you'll meet someone who is giving you information that you need to lead you to the next step in your journey. Or let's say, I've had a lot of, I wouldn't even say random things, but I do feel like where you put your energy and your focus, you begin to like attract things to you. And that's also just like, having faith and, but still being in action about the things that it is that you say that you want. And even if you don't have all the steps right now, there's tons of information online on how to get started in something. You can reach out to people personally, but I say go for it. I've been in the business for over 20 years. When I first moved to LA.
Yes.
So let me tell you, when I first moved to LA, which a long time ago, about 20 years ago, I had on because I'm very goal oriented, so I would write out my goals. And being a series regular was like, year one, I'm gonna be a series regular, and here I am 18 years later, but I never gave up. And then there was other opportunities, of course, before this time in my life, but I realized that it's like being ready to receive something too, right? So it's like, we say we want all these things, but at the same time, there's still life happening. You still are having experiences to help you grow, to be able to get to a place to receive what it is that you want. There's still a lot of things that you need to learn on your journey. So it's not that even if something is not happening right away, that doesn't necessarily mean that's not a no. You still have to grow as a person. There's still a lot of things of internal growth, just life experiences, even within the industry, that life may understand you need to understand before you receive this thing that you say that you want. So stick to the journey, don't let go of your dream, for sure, keep going, but know that it is possible. And if it's not happening as fast as you think it should, or if it's not looking how you think it should look, that doesn't mean no, you keep going, It also could just be a test of like, do you really want it? Because a lot of times you gotta ask yourself, why am I pursuing this? And your why is the thing that keeps you going. So, because a lot of times people just give up right away, and it's like, well, how much did you really want it? So ultimately, this is more of a test to see, is this what you really want? So, long answer to,
No, I love it.
Long answer to hold on to your dreams and know that all things are possible. And I always like to say, if it happened for this person, it can happen for me. If it happened for, him, it can happen for him, So I think that, we're all vessels, and, for creative people, we all have ideas that come through us. I mean, everyone, not even just, creative types, but I just think that it's possible. So I would say, stay the course and believe in yourself and have no fear. Have no fear. And if you have fear, feel the fear and do it anyway, because a lot of times on the other side of that emotion of fear is the dream, the realization or it actually happening. So.
And honestly, I think your entire answer is something that the series embodies for sure. Like, it literally exemplifies Spencer's life for sure. It exemplifies, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, not stopping, knowing that there's some place that you want to be and you can get there, you can do it. It's just about you showing up for yourself, showing up for your talent, showing up in your purpose. So thank you so much for sharing that. I don't know who needed to hear it, but you got that word. You definitely got that word. There's a few questions in the chat and I kind of want to ask those really quick. So do we know how Grace feels about Olivia?
Oh God. Look, I kind of want to stay out of that because it's like the gang of Splivia, the gang of Layla. Is that the other one?
Yeah. It's real.
I'm scared to say something. I'm scared to choose a side. I haven't choose any side, but I'm being funny. But it's like, if I say one thing, the other gang gonna get me. If I say another thing, the other gang gonna get me. I think it's very cute. I'm enjoying the roller coaster of like, what I really love seeing is the fans loving, like, shipping people, right? That's a new term that I learned.
I learned with this seseason too. I had no idea.
I'm like, shipping? What is shipping? Like, I think like last season, like, they're shipping people? What is shipping? I caught on very quickly, but I love that. But okay, if I tap into my Grace James character, I would say whoever Spencer wants to be with, stay out of it. But as an actor, I love how the fans have their choices of who they're shipping, and they're like, team this person, team that person, and they go hard, and they're so happy when they're so disappointed if there's no moment of Spencer and Olivia. They're just so bummed out, and if they do get some chemistry, they're just so happy. They're like, we won, and I love seeing that. I'm like, oh my God, they really love Spencer and Olivia. So I think
for real.
I love it. I love seeing it. I think it's so adorable, and I love that the fans are really rooting for them,
Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna have to take that, y'all. Whoever Spencer wants to be with, and I guess we might see in next season, because she's the only one in this episode that, well, no, Laura. They didn't tell Laura either. They were going around making their little announcement. And we haven't seen them tell Grace or tell Laura. Okay, back to my questions. We're gonna do one of y'all's questions, one of my questions. You have just said that you've been in the biz for 20 years. You are, a true professional. You're working on quite a few projects. It was just announced that you are working on a short, right, with Spencer Paysinger and quite a few others. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Spencer.
Panorama?
Yeah, Panorama, executive produced by Spencer Paysinger, directed by Scotty Felix, starring Sean Paul McGee. We've worked together on After We Collided, which was a movie we did back in 2019. Also, NFL player Thomas Jones is in it. Great cast, great storyline. This filmmaker is so, I just love how he's telling this story. It's very different. It's about a son who loses his mother, and he becomes very depressed about it. And through this depression, he has an encounter with his mother. She kind of comes back. Comes back from the dead. It's not like a ghost or anything, but he has this experience where his mother comes back to kind of guide him, try to show him the meaning of the blessing of his life, and for him to continue to live. And so it's a very artistic film in the way that it's shot. It's very beautiful and it's different. And some very powerful messages in it in regards to the blessings of life, you know, and how a lot of times, you know, we can lose focus of what really matters. And, you know, I think that's like one of the biggest thing is just to love what's here and to be in the moment of everything. So yeah, so we've started that, and it's been great. It's been great. And so they have really high hopes, you know, for it. But I think visually it's going to be stunning, and storyline is really strong. And so, you know, we'll see what happens with it. Right now, short films are really in their own lane, and a lot of wonderful things have become of short films, like Academy Awards and, you know, just so many different things. So I really hope that it does well. And I'm thankful that they, you know, brought me on board to be a part of it. I feel like I'm going to be like Jennifer Lewis. I'm going to be like everybody's mom in Hollywood.
You going to be mama?
I'm going to do part 2. You know, she wrote a book called The Black Mama of Hollywood. I think maybe in about 20 years, I might be like Black Mama Hollywood #2.
And I'm here for it.
I feel like I'm everybody's mama. I'm like, yeah, I play his mom. I play his mom. I play his mom. I play his mom. But it's fun, you know?
Yeah. And the moms with the message and the soul and the spirit to just push you forward. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for seeing you as mama. Of course, anything, but as mama for the next 20, 30, 40 years, shoot.
Thank you.
Speaking of short films, you just came back from Cannes. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right because I'm not even that fancy, okay?
Listen, I used to call it Cannes too. It's Cannes.
Cannes?
I was like, well, there's an S on it. And I'm like, no, it's not Cannes. It's not Cannes. It's Cannes. I was like, okay. So you and I were in the same boat because I have no idea until someone told me. And I was like, oh, okay.
But your film New Growth, it premiered there. How was that experience? Tell us all about it.
It was fantastic. It was so good. And I didn't know what to expect because, you know, I hadn't traveled since the pandemic. So I was like, oh, because our manager was like, you should go. And I was like, oh, I got to get on a plane for like 14 hours with a mask, you know, like. So that was really kind of like Debbie Downer for me. But I'm glad I went. It was an amazing experience. It was really, really amazing. I met some fantastic people. You know, I had people come out to see the film. And so, you know, we're moving forward to the next stage of it as far as getting the feature made. So I'm very happy about it. Yeah.
I'm excited. I looked on your Instagram and saw the post, and I was like, come on, Froze, let's do this. I'm totally here for that.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to, you know, create something that was meaningful and fun. I feel like we haven't really had any campy, fun, you know, films, not that I can remember this, you know, all female, Black female leads. That's just like a comedy, fun, campy, but still has a message, you know, without feeling like message. So I really wanted to create something for this time that would make people laugh and make people think, but just overall, just a very fun film that's colorful, that almost feels like Disney, but it's not Disney. But it's just that lightheartedness and fun. And I just feel like I haven't really seen anything like that in the last several years. Although it may exist, I just feel like I haven't seen it on a bigger scale, you know?
And this is your directorial debut?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is so exciting. I had no idea how many pieces were to the puzzle until I actually moved out to LA and started to get involved and started to write and do different things in film. So congratulations on making the leap from, you know, in front of the camera to behind the camera. Is that something that you definitely want to drop down more into and direct more films? And is there any other things that you also want to do behind the scenes?
Yeah, absolutely. Producing more. I feel like I would definitely be producing more, writing. I feel that I appreciate the synergy of it all, and I think that I definitely, I know that I definitely will be doing more of that. Like for New Growth, I wrote it, directed it, produced it, and was acting in it. And I feel like, you know, in the past, I don't even know if in the past, maybe it's always been like that, but I think as actors, as artists, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I almost feel like, oh, I need to stay in a certain lane. I'm an actor. I don't, you know, but now the way things are set up is kind of like, you almost have to be. It's like you are a business. So this is one of my calling cards as a writer, director, producer. I actually had a co-writer, someone else wrote it with me. And you just getting it done. You know what I mean? You're not really waiting for someone to create a role that you want to play or make the type of movie that you want to see. You're doing it yourself. And right now it doesn't really take millions of dollars to make a film. I mean, there's people making movies on their iPhone, you know? So, I mean, that's just an example of not really having excuses of like, well, I can't do this until I have, you know, because I don't have all of these things. But you can just start where you're at for the sake of just being creative, and then you'll continue to build, and more opportunities will come to you from just taking that first step. So it's like, if I wouldn't have taken that first step of even just directing it, I wouldn't have the opportunities that are coming to me now, or I even got representation as a director from my short. So, and I wasn't even expecting that. So it was just kind of like, just taking the first step, again, just moving forward the best way that you know how, and things will come, you know, to you. I feel, you know, future-wise, I see myself, you know, still acting, but also creating my own content as far as like writing and producing. And we'll see, you know, I'm going to direct the feature of New Growth. And we'll just, you know, we'll see how else it fits into the schedule of like acting. So I haven't really figured out how everything is going to flow together. I don't know how long All American is going to go. Hopefully one day I'll be able to direct an episode of All American, and yeah, that'll be really cool. But now I'm just kind of you know, exploring all of my gifts, you know, and I'm a very creative person. I paint as well. So it feels good and it feels natural doing all these things for me. I don't know what else I would do. I feel like this helps me channel my feelings, you know. Some people sing, some people do other things, and to me, I just put it into my creativity. So
I freaking love that. You're so amazing. Shout out to you and all of the great, amazing things that you have going on.
Thank you.
I don't know if y'all need that word, but some of the gems I definitely am scooping up for myself. You really do have to start where you are. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway. For you guys who are watching, like even with this channel, my channel has blown up quite a bit over the course of the last 6 months. Awesome. Just in me sharing and talking about a series that I love. Like I started out with another series, and then All American I've been obsessed with ever since I found it on Netflix 2 years ago, and I was just like, wait, how did I miss this when it actually was on the air? Started talking about it from a place of like real passion, and like really trying to talk about these characters as if I know them. Like Spence is my homie. Like me, Spencer, and Coop grew up together. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but just doing it, like putting yourself out there, using your voice, create however you can, the best way that you can, and get started. And you can literally make your life whatever you want it to be. You're definitely an example of that. So thank you again for sharing.
No, thank you, and congratulations to you for just, you know, stepping out there and doing it. You know, and I mean, even you reaching out to me, I was like, you know, I don't know, I have people, I'm open. Oh Lord.
I was doing the same thing with my dog earlier. He was up there doing all types of stuff. I was like, what are you doing?
Look, this is my time, okay? My time. So people reach out to me, you know, and I don't mind doing interviews with people and stuff like that. I'm very thankful for, you know, our fans of the show, because without you guys, we wouldn't even really have or be where we're at right now, you know? So I definitely recognize that and I appreciate that. But the fact that you just like reached out to me like, hey, you know, I'm doing this. And I was like, you just caught me at the right time. Because sometimes I'll get those messages and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. Like maybe when I'm not working, but I don't know. I was just like, I saw your message and I feel like I don't know if I had a message from you before. And I was like, yeah, you know what, sure. Let's do it. When? Oh yeah, you know, I was like, so, but you took those steps, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Versus being like, well, I don't know, like, she's an actor, she's on TV, like, you know what I mean? There was no, all these, you just did it, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, you know, it's like, just do it.
I really did. And honestly, I was just like, I've been wanting to talk to her anyway. We have like exchanged a little bit back and forth in DMs just in me supporting something that you were doing or saw something, and just, I'm a big like give people their flowers person, and I'm a big like send somebody some love type of person. So I DM people all the time, but I was just like, yeah, let me reach out. And when you did respond the way that you did, and I was like, oh wait, and she said she's gonna, okay, cool. And it is just about doing it. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. Don't spend too much time playing out the scenario and you answering for this person. Like, put it out there, let them answer, and you go from there. Even with when I reached out to you, I was like, let me also at the end, I was like, let me know if I need to reach out to your publicist or something as well, but just want to let you know where I'm coming from with it. So yeah, thank you so much for making that note. I do have two more questions from the audience before we hop off of here.
Okay.
Do you have any, or what is your favorite backstage moment or behind the scenes moment since filming All American?
Oh, my favorite behind the scene moment. I don't know. I can't think of anything in particular or a particular moment, but what I absolutely love about working on the show is like, say we all have a big scene together. Those days are normally fun. Like if it's like, it's Taye, some of the people from the Baker family, and then, you know, for our home, and we're like all together on set at once. It's just so much fun because either like somebody's just cracking, it's just fun, you know what I mean? When we all come together. So those are a lot of my favorite behind the scene moments where it's like, when we're all in a film, in a scene together. If it's not just the James family, it's like, you know, either the kids are over at my house, so we're coming to their house, which we've had a couple times, but we're just all on set together, and it's just a lot of fun, you know. It's somebody cracking jokes or playing jokes, somebody's dancing, you know, it's just a bunch of random fun, you know, stuff, and it's just like us getting the opportunity just to be together. And I think I really felt it this year too, just because of COVID, and it was like, when we first started out, everything was, we weren't seeing each other at all. It was like how everything was scheduled. It was just kind of like, I would come in at a certain time. Everything was really spaced out. So it was like, you would see somebody, it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you like in 2 months. You know, it was like you hadn't seen people in years. And people like, oh my God, I haven't seen Bre-Z like all season, you know? And everything was really spread out. So it was like, when we did have a moment of having episodes where we did come together, those were really fun. It's like, oh my God, I haven't seen this person, you know, in like 3 months, or it was really like that. So, especially like for me, because I typically don't have a lot of scenes with the kids anyway. So when I see like Jordan or Actor or Olivia, it's like, oh my God, you know, I haven't seen you since. It's always like in passing, or they just got off, you know?
Yeah.
There. So, then even with Bre-Z, it's like, unless we had a scene together, or her and Spencer, so it just depending. But towards the end of the season, we started to see each other a lot more. And it didn't feel as daunting as when we first started with all the COVID things, because we had like, when we first started, we had like a COVID officer. We had a COVID officer on set the entire time, but we literally had someone on set that was like, the 6 feet thing was like, they were enforcing that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh my God, Jalyn! They're like, no, like mid hug, you know? You were like, oh, I'm like, oh wait,
back up.
I haven't seen him since last year. I can't give him a hug, you know? So it was just like, It was crazy. Like you'd be sitting down next to somebody, just like catching up, and they'll be like, "Move your cheetah." So it was a bit of an adjustment, you know. And towards the end, things had kind of lightened up a lot, so that was nice. It's like, okay, we were like sneaking hugs, like, oh my god, like, let me get a hug before the COVID people see us. So
the COVID people catch us. I love it. And y'all's cast seem like you guys are just really, really comfortable with each other. Y'all seem like y'all have really like just formed a family. Y'all seem like y'all have like one of the best casts out there, because the way that y'all engage with each other, and when we do finally get moments from behind the scenes, it's just like, dang, they seem like they real family, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
When do we know when you all are starting to film, or can we say?
Yeah, we actually go back to work next month.
Oh.
So, you know, normally the pandemic kind of threw off everything. Normally we would have at least 5 months off, I would say. So the first 2 years we wrapped maybe like around January, and then we would go back to work in July. This year, because of COVID, we started late in September. You know, we normally air in October, but then we started late in September, then we aired in January. So that just threw everything off. So now we're kind of getting back on schedule, but we haven't started in July, which we typically would. We're starting next month, but we'll be airing again in October. So we only got we stopped filming in June. So we had maybe 2 months off this time. And so we'll be back filming mid-August. So that's like right around the corner.
I'm so excited for it. Thank you so much, Karimah, for joining me on this call. You are absolutely amazing, as I have said. I'm so looking forward to everything that you're doing, as well as when All American comes back. Could you let us know, let all of the 200 some odd people in here now, let us know where we can follow you on social media, and what else we can look out for you coming soon.
Yeah, my social media handles are the same on all platforms. It's we're only the number one, and then Karimah. That's on Instagram and Twitter. You guys can follow me there. I don't really post a whole lot. I'm very off and on with it. Just depends on what's going on in my life. But you guys can follow me there. And I just want to say again, I just appreciate, all the support and love that the fans are showing towards the show. We definitely see it, recognize it, and appreciate it. And I'm just happy that you guys are enjoying the show, that you have something on television that you're connecting to, and it's kind of taking you on a roller coaster. And that's a beautiful thing. So again, thank you for your, support, and just know that we definitely appreciate you guys, for sure.
And we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And y'all, we have to give her extra love, extra flowers, because she just came back from Cannes and is jet lag, and was like, I'm gonna still do this interview. I'm still gonna talk. The finale just aired. Thank you again. I'm going to be looking out for it. I will plug your social medias as well. We're going to keep an eye out on any news about Panorama, as well as New Growth. I can't wait till I get the opportunity to see it. I love me a film festival film. Sundance is my jam, and the lovely pandemic took that from me last year, so I'm excited to turn up this year. But I will be definitely following you, keeping up with it. And again, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And God bless you. Wishing you continued success, and that may your platform continue to expand. And, may all of your dreams continue to come true.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.